lovelies. How are you doing today? If you're new around here, welcome to practice. My name's Louise, and if you're returning, welcome back. Nice to have you. Today we're just going to go through a shorter, no props Yin Yoga session to kind of invite and welcome in spring. I know a lot of us have been really ready for spring to arrive, and with this week with the spring equinox and the days starting to get a little bit longer, we're just going to have this short practice to unwind and invite in this new energy. We're going to start straight away in a wide-kneed child's pose. So you don't have to practice on a mat. You can even practice on your bed. It's all good. As I said, it's a no props practice. However, if you've got some cushions, some blankets, comfy things around, that's all good with me. So the knees are going to start to come out nice and wide as a mat if you're using it, or perhaps a little bit wider, just somewhere where you get this nice sensation through the inner thighs, the outer hips. And then slowly start to walk the hands out in front. And we bring the forehead down to the earth. Again, perhaps you're resting onto a cushion, a pillow. Starting to close down the eyes. Or lower the gaze. And really using this first pose as an arrival. No matter what's happened up to this point, to allow you to arrive onto your mat. No matter what's to come once you leave. Can you start to really allow yourself to be here? To be here now. Maybe that's by just starting to notice the breath at the tip of the nose. Without trying to change or adjust anything. This practice of aparigraha, non-grasping. As well as santosha, contentment. If you like to work with intention, particularly as we're working with this spring energy today, perhaps you'd like to use this place of stillness to plant this seed of intent. We plant this intention in our body, our breath, our practice. We've got one more minute here. Maybe noticing as we hold these poses for a little bit longer, we can start to allow the body perhaps to soften in. But if at any point it feels too much, you can always leave. Nothing's ever set in stone. You know your body better than anyone else. Power of a child's pose, hey? Let's very slowly start to creep those fingers up towards. You're going to use the hands at the outside of the knees to just guide the knees into the chest, in towards each other. We're going to take a moment to rebound here. The hands rest in the lap. Close down the eyes. And just notice these rebounds, these places to check in rather than check out. In your own time, blinking open the eyes, keep that gaze nice and low. The hands are going to come forward. You're going to bring that right leg forward as though you were coming to like a pigeon pose. And then the left knee is going to come behind. Can you squizzle that left foot and start to take a seat in between the feet? So I know I said no props, but if you've got here and you're like, this is too much, Louise, maybe you want to sit up onto a bolster, a cushion, a pillow. And at the same time, we've all got different hips. Maybe this looks completely different but feels good. If so, stick with it. If this doesn't feel good, this might look more like a kind of a cross-leg situation. So it might be like a sukhasana, an easy seat. There's always options. Never feel stuck in anything. If you're with me, we're going to take a twist no matter how the legs are. Hopefully that right leg is on top. We're just going to gently bring the left hand to the outside of the right knee. And the right hand comes behind. Gaze might slightly go down, slightly over the right shoulder, but can you fully relax the neck here? Closing down the eyes. Or lowering the gaze if that feels comfortable. And this isn't like in our yang practice, our dynamic practices, when we take a twist and we're like using the hands and guiding the torso. We're just allowing ourselves to be here. Everything is soft. Everything is still. And when we work with the season of spring, we're working with the element of wood. If we look at traditional Chinese medicine, the elemental cycle. And these relate to the meridian lines of the liver and gallbladder. The gallbladder meridians, these energy lines, start at the outer corners of the eyes. They then travel along down the side of the head, all the way down the side of the torso, that nice kind of juicy outside of the hips, all the way down to that little toe. The liver channels start at our big toes. Hello, Ray. They then travel up through the inner thighs, so that inner hip area, up through the center of the torso, ending just below the nipple line. So we're really working with the hips, the inner, the outer hips, as well as the side of the torso, some gentle twists. We've got just over 1 more minute to go here. Last few breaths. And again, maybe noticing as you hold this for a little longer. This kind of softening into the pose. The shoulders relaxing down the back of the body. Let's slowly start to unwind. We're going to keep the legs as they are, and we're going to get through that right shoulder. So the left hand is going to go to the earth, and you're going to start to reach that right arm up and overhead. I know, right? Maybe you're going to start to lower the left elbow. The left elbow might eventually start to meet towards a cushion, a pillow, really relaxing the head wherever it wants to be. And we've got another 3-minute hold here. At some point, this top hand, you might be thinking it starts to feel a little bit too much, and that's completely reasonable and normal. So when and if that happens, the right hand comes to the left shoulder and the head kind of rests onto that left hand. But see if you can at least start with that top hand up and overhead. So we can invite this nice stretch through that whole right side of the body. And inviting this new spring-like energy. When we work with the season of spring, traditionally we're working with the element of wood. If we look at all the trees around, wherever you're practicing, it's the blossom before the first buds of those green leaves start to appear. Everything feels a little bit magical, this very new, fresh energy, this fresh start. Can feel quite re-energizing as the sun starts to get a little bit warmer. And I think it's a really nice reminder that no matter what we as humans do or think, nature continues in these beautiful cycles. The only constant that we have is change. We've got 1 more minute here, my loves. Again, maybe that right hand has started to come to that left shoulder as you fold in a little bit more. Never feel somewhere that moves towards pain or uncomfort. You want to encourage these slight sensations, but always being mindful. Last few breaths. Let's go slow from here. So if that left hand is lowered, start to gently straighten it here. You're going to send the right arm out long, the palm facing down. Keep the chin to the chest and just bring the left hand to the left cheek, gently lifting yourself up. Whew. Maybe some rolls of those shoulders. And when you're ready, the legs start to go out long in front. The weight goes into the hands. Maybe this slight lift of the chest, gaze goes up. Perhaps kind of pointing and flexing the toes or circling the ankles one way and through the other. Take a few more moments. When you're ready, we start to come up, come back to that tabletop. So the hands and knees to the earth. This time the left leg goes forward, the knee is across, so like you're going to a pigeon pose. The right knee goes behind and the feet go out wide. And then slightly start to lower the seat all the way down. So we're in our shoelace pose with the left leg on top. And again, kind of taking a few moments, really feel in. The hips can be quite different from one side to the other. So again, perhaps you're going to sit onto a cushion, a block, anything cozy around. Perhaps this shape isn't for your hips, and that's all good. Again, you might come to more of a like maybe a half lotus or a kind of cross leg, but have that left leg on top. So first off, we set up for the gentle twist. So the right hand comes across and then the left arm rests behind somewhere. Doesn't have to be anywhere fancy at all. Again, the gaze might start to go down, maybe slightly over towards the left. Having the eyes closed or low allows this pratyahara, this withdrawal of the senses. Allows us to go within, to peel back the layers, connect to our authentic self. And we've already been here for 1.5 minutes. We've got another 1.5 minutes to go, so just about that halfway point. And just as the eyes are closed, I'll start to talk a little bit less and less, allowing you this space to go within more and more. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. See if you can just stay present as we gently move the energy around. A few more breaths. All right, lovelies. Again, move slowly. We come back through center, keeping the legs. We start to bring the right hand down, and then the left arm goes up and overhead. Again, perhaps you're starting to bend the right arm. Eventually that elbow might reach the cushion. See if you can keep the head heavy and the gaze down. And taking as long as you need with this left arm up over the head. It might just be for a few moments. It might be for the 3 minutes. There's always the option for the hand to come to the opposite shoulder. You guide the elbow in and the head, the cheek gently rests to the arm. And I really think as we look towards spring, this kind of amazing new fresh energy, maybe thinking what we can bring in from winter, this sense of grounding, and perhaps this sense of stillness, this really nourishing, supportive energy. Can we bring that with us as we face these changes, this new fresh start, whatever adventures are to come. Last minute here. Good, let's start to move slow. So if the right arm is down, start to straighten it up. We send the left arm out to shoulder height, the palm is down. And then you're gently walking the opposite hand in. The hand comes to the cheek as you guide that head up. Lovely. Again, the hands start to come behind as you send the legs out long. Maybe you're opening the chest, spreading the toes. Maybe it's a slight flex and point of the feet, a circling of the ankles one way and through the other. And we're going to end with a butterfly pose. A couple of options. Maybe we're all going to have the soles of feet together and the knees wide. Send them slightly further away so you've got all this nice space through the hips. Maybe the hands are going to rest on top or underneath of the shins, making this a forward fold so the head is heavy. Maybe you want to take this on your back, so a supine butterfly coming all the way down. Perhaps placing the left hand to the heart's place and the right hand to the chest, the stomach. Maybe you've supported under the knees if this feels strong through those hips. As always, take what you need. Take this time, this stillness. Wherever you are, can you allow the body to feel supported by the earth? And the mind light. Even though it may feel like spring kind of happens overnight, this big change, this sudden warmth, blossom, rebirth. There was a long time over winter, this nourishing effort. We think about like caterpillars in their cocoons before they burst out to butterflies. It takes time. Always remembering to be patient with yourself and with those around you. We all have our own timelines. We all have our own paths. If you're on your back, staying as you are. If you took the forward fold, start to make your way onto your back. We're going to set up for our final pose, a Shavasana. So maybe staying as you are if this feels comfortable. Maybe the legs extend out long, the arms alongside the body. And again, this invitation for complete stillness. Allowing the body to feel supported by the earth. And the mind light. Relaxing the space between the eyebrows. Relaxing the eyelids. Softening your jaw, tongue, teeth. Relaxing your fingers and toes. I'm going to leave you here to feel free to take as long as you need in your final rest. Bringing my prayer to the space between my eyebrows, saying Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It means peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through today, and enjoy this final relaxation, your Shavasana. See you very soon.